Hi everybody, and welcome back to the channel. This is Douglas Hartman with Airbrushed Artistry, and again getting back to working on our Goblin portrait, and just kind of give you show you an update of what I've done so far since the last video. And one thing I want to apologize for, I know these videos are rather long, and so I need to find a happy balance of doing a little bit of talking in the first part of the video and doing more painting, and then when I edit the video, speeding up that section. But I'm still working on my editing skills, guys, so you have to bear with me here, okay? But what I've done so far compared to the last video, I went ahead, on the outline, I just went ahead with pure black and got that put in. I did go in with a little bit of black and lightly misted in the cast shadow underneath his lower lip. Right over here is his chin area. On this side of his lip right here, I went ahead and using shields, which are essentially, I just take paper, make some concave and convex forms, and with that created the line, made the forms of his lower and upper lip. Now his upper lip is mostly in a shadow, okay? So this whole area here isn't going to be very well defined. It's very dark, and it's just a constantly misting on a little bit of paint. Again, I'm using my my custom micron Takumi from Drew Blair, running 15 psi, and I'm just lightly misting, going in with these, this eraser here, and I have a media electric eraser as well, and going in, subtracting paint, adding a little bit more paint, subtracting paint again, and using textured stencils. You can see the different textures in here, all on in here. Put some texture in it, bring out some highlights to the right of the texture. My light source is not straight on, it's more coming, if here's straight on, it's more coming from this direction a little bit. So therefore, when I'm doing the forms in his face, for example, this lower section here, everything from here over here is going to be a little bit darker than this area over here, because this side is going to be in more direct contact with a light source, okay? And like these highlights through here, I need to make sure that these are going to be lighter in value than these ones on this side. This area here, I need to make sure it's going to be lighter in value than this side. Okay, this side of his lower lip right here is going to be lighter in value than this side of his lower lip. Okay, and paying attention to your light source and the shadows that it creates, just that in itself will help you help your artwork be more realistic. Just that little detail right there, it just helps immensely. And to get a better idea of how light affects shapes and forms, like take a go in the bathroom with a flashlight and turn off the lights and turn on just use the flashlight as a light source, and see how that creates cast shadows across your face. And obviously that's very, very dramatic, but you kind of get the idea. So we want to have the idea that the light source is coming from this direction. And so again, that's why I have these highlights here on his lower lip right here on the very top edge, and not a whole lot. Now I did come in with an eraser and lightly take out a little bit of paint, okay? Because his lip is going to be lighter in value than the area directly below his lip, okay? His lip color, I used the base skin tone, which the regular formula that I use was 10 drops of Createx illustration colors. That's the brand I'm using. Is Injury Ochre, which is a yellowish towards the green side. I used 10 drops of that to 3 drops of moss green and 3 drops of burnt sienna, and reduced 50%. And that is the baseline of my skin tone. Okay, I have a darker variant of that where I added an additional 3 drops of sepia, and then what I did was, after I got his lip done, what I did was I took my base skin tone and I took a little bit of that and I added a few drops of scarlet to it, just to change the value of his lip a little bit. Okay, it doesn't look like he's got lipstick on or anything like that, but I just wanted to change the value and change that color hue of his lips just a little bit, just enough to make it noticeable, but not gaudy or anything like that. But when you're doing these shapes, like I said, take it. That's all I did. I'm just using a piece of rip paper, and I'm laying them down, and I'm creating the wrinkles in, okay. And then I'm just using an eraser to go in. I'll dust in a little bit of color with the texture stencil. Then I'll come in with an eraser, take out some highlights, dust in a little bit more color, and go back and forth. And it's just a back and forth process, okay? So this is probably I don't know how long it is right now, but I'm going to stop right now, get the camera reset up, and start shooting again. And so the next one I'm going to work on, I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can see it better. His nose, I don't know how well this is going to come up in camera, but his nose is right here. I'm going to work on this area right here, okay? And then I'll work on the opposite side, and I'll kind of bounce back and forth. Once I get that completed, then I'll work on his nose and then his left eye. I still haven't decided if I'm going to just give him, a damaged, messed up eyeball on it, right, to give him a little more character. But we'll go from there. All right, guys, I appreciate you watching. I appreciate the subscribers that I have. It means the world to me, and it helps me be more accountable for my artwork. All right, so I hope you guys have a great night, and daggone it, get in there and do some painting, man. If you're a miniature painter and you've been using an airbrush and you've been thinking, you spent this money on this airbrush, what else can you do with it? Right here, man. Do some artwork. It's fun. It's a whole lot of fun, and it's just something, another creative outlet. All right, see you guys. Bye.